First, this rant on a local paper. Now an Albuquerque man says he is being targeted by ISIS.
Plus, Albuquerque's mayor wants to spend your money. Is it on what you want?
And breaking overnight, officials believe they have found a missing plane, but did any passengers survive? Good morning and welcome to KRQE This Morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Krista Gutierrez. Today is Tuesday, December 30th. One more day and the new year is right around the corner.
It's hard to believe, isn't it? We're going to start 2015. Kristen Curry has a look at just how cold it's going to get today and tomorrow, though, as we enter New Year's Eve. Good morning.
And good morning. Yeah, definitely ending 2014 on the cold side. We'll start, though, with a live look outside. You can see the camera bouncing because of the winds that we have, not only here in the metro area, but across the state. Sustained winds at 25 miles per hour out of the east. Those will stick with us through this afternoon. But temperatures are very cold. 24 degrees, that's warm compared to our wind chill right now. We're down to a feels like temperature of 8 degrees here in the metro area, single digits to the north. And your day planner shows we're going to be right about that freezing mark a little later on this afternoon. But where is the snow? I'll let you know coming up in about 10 minutes.
And this just into our newsroom in the past hour. Crews say debris found in the Java Sea is that of the missing AirAsia plane. They have since spotted 6 bodies. 3 have been recovered. This as the U.S. is joining in on that search. Hospitals there are now waiting to help with identifying the victims. Mark Elwood reports from Washington.
Crews searching for AirAsia Flight 8501 were lowered into the waters off Borneo Island to recover bodies spotted down below, as relatives of the missing watched in disbelief from a designated crisis center. Teams also recovered red, white, and black objects floating in the area, along with a life jacket, most likely debris from the plane, search teams say. The discoveries come as aircraft from several countries, including Australia, resume the aerial search.
Australia has sent 2 P-3 Orions to an area west of the island of Kalimantan, as requested by the Indonesian authorities.
And the U.S. is now part of the effort. The USS Sampson is joining a growing number of ships, planes, and helicopters involved in the mission, which has been expanded to cover land. The missing plane with 162 people on board left Indonesia Sunday morning headed to Singapore. It vanished shortly after the plane's captain requested to fly at a higher altitude because of bad weather. The request was denied because of heavy air traffic. In addition to weather, investigators will also look at whether the plane was going too slow, mechanical failure, and how the pilots may have reacted to an emergency on board. As the mystery continues to unfold, AirAsia has offered to fly relatives of the missing over the search area. Mark Albert for CBS News.
And this just in from the president of Indonesia. They are going to ramp up efforts on that search come tomorrow. Right now, it's still being classified as a search and rescue, with crews hoping that someone did survive. Soon after, they will start looking for the black box that is a flight data recorder to find out what exactly happened.
An Albuquerque man who talked on camera with News 13 about the Albuquerque Journal hack attack says they're now targeting him. The hackers posted a message on Christmas Eve. It turned the Journal's online top story into a rant in support of Islamic militants. The group also claims to know personal information about Albuquerque residents. We talked with people about what they thought of that attack, and one of those people says the same hackers are now coming after him online. They even, he claims, posted on his Facebook page. The man has contacted the FBI, which is also investigating the Journal attack. A New Mexico senator says someone didn't like what he told News 13 in an interview last week. He spoke about the appointment of Monique Jacobson as the new secretary for CYFD.
Secretary Jacobson, in my workings with her, has proven herself to be a strong leader.
Senator Jacob Candelaria says that comment provoked a threat sent to his personal email account. Candelaria would not go into detail about what the threat said, only that it involved his vehicle. Jacobson's background includes marketing and advertising as tourism secretary, which some feel is not a good fit.
It's now 6:04. Mayor R.J. Berry is proposing a $115 million bond package that includes road work, zoo renovations, and a West Side sports complex. Here's a look at some of the projects listed in the proposal. $1 million would be used to create sidewalks linking the rail yards to the convention center. They would also run near the old First Baptist Church for the Innovate ABQ project. Another $32 million would go to bike and pedestrian improvements on University between Rio Bravo and Lomas. There's $3 million for a regional sports complex on 118th Street on the west side. The city hopes to attract national tournaments for baseball, possibly softball, and extreme sports there. Nearly $11 million will be for police and fire equipment, vehicles, and buildings. and about $4.5 million for buses and mass transit improvements. There would also be $3.5 million for renovations and repairs at the zoo and aquarium. If the city council approves the proposal, it would go before voters next October.
6:05 right now. Minimum wage workers in the metro are about to get a raise in the new year. Beginning January 1st, Albuquerque's minimum wage goes up to $8.75 per hour. That's a 15-cent increase from $8.60 per hour. Tipped employee wages will increase to $5.25 an hour from $5.16. And if the employer provides health care and or child care benefits of $2,500 or more, those workers will now see $7.75 an hour. Statewide, lawmakers will once again try to increase the minimum wage. One Democratic senator wants to raise the hourly minimum from $7.50 to $8.30.
And listen to this. There will be no raise for newly elected county officials anytime soon. Bernalillo County commissioners rejected a pay hike.
But this puts us in a very difficult position. I think it's very unfair.
I don't think that the county commission has any place on voting for a raise for itself.
The commission decided yesterday not to give new commissioners, the new sheriff, treasurer, and a couple other elected positions a fatter paycheck. A new state law requires each county to sign off on pay hikes for newly elected county officials. It was a 2-2 vote.
The FBI believes that North Korean hackers are behind a cyber attack on Sony Pictures, and now the U.S. is standing by that finding. This comes after FBI officials held discussions with people who have alternate theories, including disgruntled Sony staff, not North Korea, saying they're behind the attack. It prompted Sony to initially scrap plans to release the film The Interview about a plot to assassinate North Korea's leader. While hundreds of people have been rescued from a burning ferry off the coast of Albania, many passengers may still be missing. Those flames broke out on the ferry's car deck on Sunday morning, prompting a frantic rescue mission. Authorities have been unable to figure out exactly how many people were on board because the ship's manifest was not accurate. Several deaths have been reported in the aftermath.
It's now 6:07. On a lighter note, now that Christmas is over, what do you do with that tree? How about recycling it? B&M is teaming up with the cities of Albuquerque and Rio Rancho for its annual tree recycling event. The trees will be ground into mulch, which can be used for landscaping. That's a neat idea. The event is January 2nd through the 11th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the following locations. They're on your TV screen right now: Montesa Park Convenience Center, Eagle Rock Convenience Center, Ladera Golf Course, and the Rio Rancho Sports Complex. How many out there actually have their Christmas trees still up? I have to say I do.
A lot of people do through the new year.
Yeah.
At least.
Mine might be up a little bit longer.
We'll celebrate Christmas.
Hopefully we'll get it down by mid-January.
Get it recycled.
Yeah.
Developing overnight, a breakthrough in the search for the missing Air Asia plane. Crews are now working to recover several bodies and other debris in the Java Sea.
Also, caught on camera, a jailhouse brawl between inmates and guards. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Crystal Gutierrez.
And I'm Adam Atchison. It's Tuesday, December 30th. First this morning, big talkers, the weather.
Oh, it was freezing this morning, plus the winds. I don't know if you heard them
help.
all night.
I know.
No,
Sure.
not at all.
Sure did. Let's get over to Krista Curry, find out what today and then New Year's Eve holds for us. Good morning.
Yeah, today's going to be just a raw day, guys. You can see the winds bouncing around the camera looking towards downtown. Those winds, sustained winds at that, are at 25 miles per hour coming out of the east. Those will actually be here all day long. Temperature-wise, actual air temperature is 24 degrees. But when we add in the wind, it drops that temperature to 8 degrees. That's what it feels like walking out the door here in Albuquerque. Single digits to the north. It feels like 8 below out in Las Vegas right now, so very cold start. By the time we hit this afternoon, we'll be lucky to make it to that freezing point, so get ready for a solid stretch of cold temperatures, and the gusty winds will continue. But where is the snow? I'll let you know that coming up in about 15 minutes.
Kristen, thanks. Bottom of the hour. For nearly 3 days, search and rescue teams have been frantically scouring the waters, hoping to find missing AirAsia Flight 8501. 162 passengers and crew members were on board, bound for Singapore from Indonesia on Sunday, when one of the pilots requested a course change due to bad weather. Soon after, they lost contact with air traffic control. And new and developing this morning, airline officials are confirming that debris found in the Java Sea is that of AirAsia Flight 8501. Earlier this morning, officials in Indonesia said that they had also recovered several bodies, a grim discovery following a 3-day search and rescue. On Tuesday, crews spotted some other debris in several locations within the search zone. Of course, that's today. The USS Sampson is joining now a growing number of ships, planes, and helicopters involved in that mission, which has now been expanded to cover the land as well.
And here are the facts we have learned about the missing AirAsia plane during this morning's news conference. Indonesia officials say they found several pieces of floating debris. Search and rescue crews have reportedly spotted 6 bodies in the Java Sea. 3 of them have been recovered. And there's word that they also see a shadow underwater that may be in the shape of a plane. Navy ships discovered what looks to be an emergency exit door there as well.
And this is the second missing plane crisis in less than a year in Southeast Asia. The loss of contact with the AirAsia plane comes nearly 10 months after the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. That plane lost contact with air traffic control over the South China Sea between Malaysia and Vietnam with 239 people on board. Searchers have yet to find any debris from Flight 370, which officials believe crashed in the southern Indian Ocean after veering dramatically off course.
Time now 6:32. Dramatic new dash cam video from state police shows a holiday season drunk driving arrest that ended with officers' guns drawn. The arrest happened east of Taos last month after a man was pulled over for speeding, then drove away from a state police officer. The driver, Jesus Peraza Ruiz, led police on a chase for about 4 miles before pulling into the front yard of a mobile home where his kids were. 3 officers had to use a taser to get him under control. Take a look at this video. State police say during the holidays, drunk drivers hit the roads. This year, they have seen a spike.
It seems like this year, 2014, we're going to see an increase in fatalities statewide, and I think that alcohol-related is going to be increased as well.
In 2013, drunk driving fatalities were at an all-time low with 133 deaths. That's down about 40% since 2003. One of the most dangerous holidays for drivers is tomorrow. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, nationwide, New Year's Eve has the most DWI arrests, but the 4th of July is the deadliest because of drunk drivers.
6:33 right now from Uber and Lyft to good old taxi cabs. There are a lot of ways to get around on New Year's Eve, but listen to this. Some of those options may end up costing you more. Unlike taxis, Uber and Lyft can raise prices when demand is high. Uber calls it surge pricing. Lyft calls it prime time. It's a way to get their drivers out on the roads. So expect those high demands to peak between 1 and 2 a.m. While taxis don't raise their prices, the wait time could be longer, especially on New Year's Eve. No word if those surge charges on Uber and Lyft will spike here in New Mexico after the clock strikes midnight.
And if you prefer free, as a lot of us do, as usual, AAA is offering its Tipsy Tow program on New Year's Eve. The service will be available from 6 in the evening until midnight on January 1st. Tow trucks will pick you and your car up and drive you up to 10 miles for free. For more information, head on over to our website, KRQE.com. Click on the links tab.
A huge fight among inmates and guards at a detention center is all caught on video. Look at this. It happened early Sunday morning at the San Juan County Detention Center. Guards responded to a fight between 2 inmates. By the time they got there, that fight was over. That's when a 3rd inmate punched a guard and many others joined in. As you can see for yourself, the guards tried to take control of the situation here. There's a partition in the way, but the fight and the inmates move. Several guards were hurt. One's recovering from a fractured eye socket. Charges will be filed against the inmates involved in this fight.
He escaped from police once, but getting out of jail won't be easy now for a Chase suspect. Jason Smith was in court yesterday. We're staying on top of this case. Smith was first arrested earlier this month after deputies say he rammed into their patrol cars 2 days in a row. They finally caught him when he crashed into a ravine and was taken to UNM Hospital. It appeared his injuries were so severe he was not on 24-hour guard. Deputies say Smith was faking it and walked out of the hospital last week, stole a van, then he was on the run once again. Deputies rearrested him on Friday, though. He'll have to pay $25,000 bonds for each of 4 different cases to get out of jail this time. This morning, police are on the hunt for a skateboarding vandal who's targeted a business twice, and it was all caught on camera. Take a look at this. We're showing you the surveillance of the attack. The latest one happened just Sunday night, the other earlier this month at the Global Beauty Supply Store in Gibson near San Mateo. Both times, the vandal smashed the windows with his skateboard. You can see the damage still there. The windows had to be boarded up.
Time is 6:36. Listen to this. President Obama is apologizing after his golf game put a snag in one couple's wedding plans. 2 U.S. Army captains were scheduled to tie the knot at a golf course in Hawaii. They had to change their plans after they were told they had to move their wedding because the president and his friends were planning to golf there. The ceremony was moved to another part of the course eventually, but the wedding photographer says, despite that, everything worked out for the better.
The actual location was beautiful. It overlooked the golf course. So before the ceremony began, everyone was on the bluff looking out over the golf course, trying to see if we could find the president somewhere there golfing.
The couple and the entire wedding party were in for quite a surprise when the president himself called to apologize for disrupting their ceremony. What a gift there.
What a wedding story, huh? What was your most memorable part about the wedding? Oh, the president interrupting
First he crashed
our
it, then he called.
ceremony. Yeah, pretty interesting.
Pretty cool.